Hello, hello, welcome back. I'll be your host for today's fun mathematical journey on Mrs. Koblenz. As I'm sure you know by now, today we're going to be talking about steps to solve a multi-step equation. So you've already solved one-step equations, two-step equations, and now we're just going to throw a whole bunch of steps at you. But once you know the process, you'll know exactly how to do this. So let's start there. Steps. Step 1. Distribute, if necessary. Some of these problems you have to distribute, some of them don't. Clearly this one you don't have to distribute anything, but here I see I'm gonna have to. So let's write distribute. And then I'm also gonna put in parentheses, if necessary. All right, second thing we're gonna do, combine like terms. Remember, like terms have the same variable and exponent parts. And lastly, we are going to solve. All right, well, let's get right into it and start with numbers 1 and 2 and see what we get. As always, I have my trusty calculator right here to help me with anything I'm going to need. So my first step tells me to distribute if necessary. I don't see any parentheses here, don't need to distribute. On to step number 2, combine like terms. I definitely see some like terms here. I have a 9x. I have this negative 7x. And you know, before I do any of that, let me draw my line here. Okay. So those are like terms. When I put those two together, 9 and a negative 7 gives me a positive 2x. Let's look for another set of like terms. We've got a positive 1 and a negative 5, which together give me negative 4. I'm going to bring down my equal sign and bring down my negative 20. All right, so just like two-step equations, we want to get rid of that constant term first, the number without the variable. So we're going to see if on this side with the variable, if there's any addition or subtraction. There sure is. That 4 is being subtracted, or it's a negative, so I need to get rid of it. In order to get rid of it, I'm going to add it to both sides. This year, a couple kids have started teaching me about this table type thing where we draw our line, and then we get rid of stuff, and I really like that. So I'm going to bring down my 2x, I'm going to bring down my equal sign, and if I take negative 20 plus 4, I'm going to have negative 16. All right, one step left. I gotta get this x by itself because it's touching the 2. I know I need to divide by 2 on both sides. And x equals negative 8. All right, multi-step, not too bad. The one below is a little bit different. Let's see what we get. Our first step tells us to distribute, and this time I will be distributing a negative 7. So negative 7, let me put my line here. Negative 7 times positive 3a gives me negative 21a. Negative 7 times negative 1 gives me a positive 7. I'm going to bring down everything else. And I want you to confuse that with the equal sign, that negative. All right. So our next step tells us to combine like terms. Well, there's nothing to combine on this side of the equal sign. And there's nothing to combine here. They're not like terms. So I'm on to my third step, solve. All right, so I'm looking at my variable. My variable is a. So I'm trying to get rid of the constant on this side. So my constant here is going to be the 7. I'm going to subtract 7 on both sides. 91 minus 7 should give me 86. 7. 21, I don't think that's right. 4, there we go. That's much better. Okay, we got it now. It's been a long day, give me a break. Lastly, we need to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 21. And I know that a positive divided by a negative is a negative. I'm just going to switch this back around, but A equals -4. Now it's all done. Let me scroll down and we'll do a couple more together. All right. So for numbers 3, 4, and 5 here, you can see there's some distributing for sure. Let's start with that step first. For number 3, we're going to be distributing a -5. Sorry if I got it in there a little bit. All right. And because I have a habit of forgetting to bring things down, I'm going to bring that guy down right away. He's coming down. Now I'm going to ignore him and distribute. So I have -5 times 3m, which gives me -15m. -5 times +10 gives me -50. And then I'm going to bring down my equal sign and my 126. All right. Now I'm looking to combine like terms. I do have a set of like terms. It is going to be 4m and -15m. There's one term and the second term. When I put them together, I get -11m. All right, let's bring down everything else. Remember, you're looking at the side of the equal sign that has the variable. So now I'm looking to get rid of any constant terms. So my constant doesn't have a variable, and I see that -50. I'm gonna get rid of that, guys. I'm gonna add 50 to both sides. Here, it's gonna go away. Over here, I'm gonna get 176. And all that's left over here is -11m. So my last step, and I'm gonna use my calculator this time, is to divide both sides by -11. So I have 176 divided by -11. -16 is my answer. All right, we're getting there. Let's keep going. For this next problem, number 4, we're going to distribute first. We're going to distribute two different things, a -3 and a -1. My arrows. So -3 times k would give me -3k. Negative times a negative gives me a +24. Over here, I have -1 times k gives me -1k. And -1 times 5 gives me -5. I'm going to bring down my equal sign and my 23. Now I'm going to draw my line and do step number 2. Combine like terms. These guys look the same. They have the same last name. That's what a colleague of mine always says. They have the same last name. Absolutely. So we have -3k minus 1k. You borrowed $3, you borrow another dollar, you owe me $4. -4k. Over here, +24, -5. If I put those two together, I'm going to get a +19. Bring down my equal sign and bring down my 23. All right, we're getting there now. Notice, I just want to notice I did combine those two and they're right there. So I'm looking for that constant that I have to get rid of. I see it right there, that 19. I'm going to subtract that on both sides. This goes away over here. I'm going to bring down my -4k because that's the only thing left. I'm going to bring down the equal sign and this should give me a +4. Last step is to divide. I'm going to divide by the -4. So it cancels out over there. Divide by -4 over here. And k equals -1. Not too bad. One more to try. Here goes nothing. We need to distribute. I'm going to distribute that -6 to both the 2k and the 5. So before I do all that, I'm going to rewrite everything else. So I have 20 equals 10x, and then whatever I distribute, I'll put there. So negative 6 times 2 gives me negative 12x. Negative 6 times 5 gives me negative 30. All right, we gotta combine our like terms. 10x and negative 12x give me negative 2x. I'm gonna bring down my minus 30, my equal sign, and my 20. So on this side of the equal sign, the side that has the variable, I need to look for that constant, it's right there. 30 is being subtracted, so I'm going to add it. Over here, this guy goes away. 20 plus 30 gives me 50. Bring down my equal sign and bring down my negative 2x. Last step, divide. Divide by negative 2, and x equals negative 25. Wonderful. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see the second part of this in our next video.